Today's a beautiful day. The sun is starting to beat down and it is truly gardening season. And we're talking all about mulching. To many, I think mulching means actual wood chips, but there are actually a few different mulches that you can be using in your garden. Mulching is really just covering your ground with some type of protection for the soil. So that could be covering it with a plastic or a cloth to help block the sun from the dirt, from stripping its nutrients, and so much more, which we'll be talking about in just a bit. But there are a few different ways that you can be mulching your garden. So the first one is behind us, and that is wood chips. We're actually using these wood chips to mulch around our house, more for landscaping purposes. Another great organic mulch that you can be using is grass clippings. This is a low cost, easy to use because you can just mow your lawn and dump the clippings on there. We've also used grass clippings in the past. What we have noticed though is with grass clippings, they really need to be spread out really well. Otherwise they will clump and get really gross, and they just need to be maintained well, and they don't always look the best. But my favorite way to mulch is actually with straw. I specifically like mulching with straw because I think it is the prettiest in the garden, but there are also so many different benefits to mulching with straw. What's really important is when you do actually get your straw, you do want to make sure that you're getting the right type. At the beginning, when we first got straw, we didn't look too much into it, and it caused a lot of problems in our garden. And that is because straw is usually going to be the byproduct of something else that a farmer is actually getting or sowing and getting to sell. So usually it's going to come with all of the seeds at the top, and you're getting more of the stem or the cutoffs at the bottom. Now, if you happen to get the wrong bale of straw, or you happen to get hay by accident, you might still have some of those seeds attached, and that means that they're going to be sprouting all over your garden and then creating more competition to what you're actually trying to grow in your garden, which is not ideal. So definitely make sure that when you are picking out your straw, you're testing it to make sure that it is a nice quality straw, or you're getting a nice organic straw. Definitely know your source, know where you're getting your straw, and make sure that you're choosing the best type of straw for your garden. Now, there are many benefits to straw, one of which is that it actually reflects the light from the sun. And what is good about this is by reflecting the light of the sun, one could say it actually reflects more light onto your plants, your flowers, or whatever is growing to make them grow even more. And the second is to say that it's actually going to be protecting your soil and keeping it a lot cooler. So right now I have compost in the ground, and it just feels very hot because it's black. It's absorbing a lot of that sunlight. And once I actually am able to lay down the straw in this bed, it will create a nice barrier and help reflect that sun outside of it. Another great reason and benefit of using straw is that if you do have pests in your garden, like roly-polies or earwigs, this is actually going to be a great way to manage those pests. So a lot of times your plants can be attracting these roly-polies and earwigs, and what you can do is by laying down fresh straw, you do want to make sure that it is fresh, it will actually attract those bugs to the straw and make them want to eat the straw instead of your plants, which is a great way to distract them from your plants. You'll also notice that by eating the straw, they're going to start having droppings outside of that, and those droppings from the bugs are also going to add an additional amount of fertilizer to your garden, because we all love buggy poops. Another thing that's really great about straw is that it's actually going to be a great weed barrier. Without straw or mulching of any kind, any type of seeds or weeds that are going to come from any of their seeds can easily drop and fall into the soil and start to grow. The fact that there is straw on top is going to prevent the weed seeds from actually getting into the soil where most of the nutrients are and where they're going to find the most success. So by having this protective barrier over your soil, over your compost, you're preventing the seeds from actually getting into the ground and starting to be able to grow. You're really locking them out, but I already have all my plants grown in here, or you can mulch your straw around your plants so that you can make sure that they have a nice capability to still continue to grow. They're getting that sunlight and they're getting that water. As you can see in the past, we have used wood chips to add as a mulching to our garden. Now, there are a lot of pros and cons to each. Wood chips can oftentimes just be something that's really affordable, especially if you have a lot of woods, and there are a lot of free services to get your own wood chips, which make them really great. And personal preference, they can look really nice in your garden. Although there are a few positives to straw. One of which, straw is a lot lighter and easier to maneuver around your garden. You do not have to be using wheelbarrows and a lot of strength to pick up and drop it into your bed, which, trust me, I've done. Also, there is, if you get into the chemicals of it, a higher nitrogen to carbon ratio in mulch than there is to straw. What does that actually mean? That means that it's going to take mulch a lot longer to break down than it will for straw. Now you can see this mulch that we had from last year is still very present in our garden, where the straw has primarily broken down and is not as present. So in that factor alone, it's a really great solution for your garden. Although we are currently in the heat of summer, mulch is also a great way to keep your soil warm as well. And if you do have freezing temperatures, even though we're planting after our first frost, you can know that your plants are most likely safe. Now, the top reason why most gardeners are going to want to mulch on their beds is because it really locks in moisture. And it locks in the nutrients of your compost or soil. You spend so much time amending and creating a great compost soil for your garden to grow in. And without mulching on top of it, you're not creating a barrier between the sun and the mulch to really lock in that moisture. Straw is a great way to create a barrier, and it also is going to be a great way to lock in that moisture. This is going to save you time because you're not going to need to water your garden as often. It's going to save you money if you pay for water unless you are able to collect it. But even in drier seasons, you might have to use your own hose. It's going to save your well if you have well water. And it's overall going to save you the bigger headache of making sure that your plants need to constantly be watered. Water is definitely one of our biggest natural resources here, and if we can do anything to conserve our water, like mulching our garden with straw, that's a great way that you can ethically do your part to consuming less water. Straw is one of our favorite ways to mulch our garden. It is definitely in full swing now. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you have the best season gardening. We're going to be sharing content all summer long here, so definitely subscribe and like this video if you were a fan. See you guys next time. Bye.